Commander, Brejet, your service bringing you some Battlefield 3 PC gameplay, and I tried to bring you guys some PS4 gameplay through, sharing it on Facebook and then, ripping it down, but it didn't work. So you guys are stuck with this. Sorry, there's really nothing I can do about it until, Sony removes their HTTP thing, but that's not the point of this video. The point of the video is to celebrate Xbox One, kind of. Because I don't have an Xbox One, I have a PS4, and it's sad because I've been starting to, seriously regret getting a PS4 instead of an Xbox One, even though I had an Xbox One, pre-ordered for a couple months, and then I remember I went to my friend's house the day he got a PS4, which is, I think, actually the day when he got a PS4 was when the PS4 released. Um, so I went to his house, and I didn't get to play too many games. I only got to play, I think, Killzone Shadowfall. I don't think he had Resogun downloaded yet, so that's the only game I got to try out. And I heard that game was not that great, so I wasn't expecting that good out of it. But I mean, the graphics look so good, so I thought that was a reason why. Because the PS4 is doing 1080p for a lot of games. I think the only one I know, only game I know that's not doing 1080p on PS4 is Battlefield 4, which is at 900p upscale 1080p. So that's that. But and then I thought that Xbox One would be pretty weak, and it's so big, meaning that they're probably compensating for something, and that the graphics aren't as good, the hardware isn't as great, it's fat, and stuff like that. So I guess that's the reason why I switched over to the PS4, which I'm calling now the dark side. So, but I think I really should have sticking with Xbox One for the real reason I had pre-ordered an Xbox One. And I think I pre-ordered it around October, the beginning of October, so it would have put me at about a month and a half for between when I pre-ordered it and when it was gonna release. And I actually got the day one edition, and wow, my life would have been so much different right now if I had an Xbox One. I'm serious. It's not just because oh, I might have been able to play Forza, or I would have had a different controller or something like that with Xbox One. No, my life would actually have been pretty different, and it's really personal why. So I'm not gonna say it in this commentary, but I don't know. I just don't like sharing too personal things. I'm fine with sharing most of my stuff. So, and like my opinion, like I'm sharing my opinion right now. So I think Xbox One is the better kind of next gen console because the games on it are really good. I guess Sony really has shown that its exclusives aren't that great. I mean, if you right now the best exclusive is Resogun, and I mean that's an indie game, and I mean you can't. It's not a AAA game, and that really sucks because AAA games are take so much more development and care, I guess, than an indie game because they're bigger, longer, and they have to make they have more money that's being spent in them. So naturally, they just are more money. They just take more effort to make. And the fact that an indie game like Resogun, which is a fantastic game, is the only extremely awesome game for PS4 right now is kind of sad. I mean, for Xbox One, I can easily say that Forza 5 is the equivalent of how that of their amazing, really great game for Xbox One. I have a history with racing, and I've been back in like PS2 days. I was a serious racer and stuff like that. So that I have a bit more preference for racing games than most people. But even then, I still think that it's a fantastic game. It's a lot of fun. A lot of the techniques and new stuff they're putting in it feels really next gen, and I like that game. I've played it, and I've actually gotten about half an hour of time into Forza 5 and Xbox One. So this isn't coming from a guy who's just like Xbox One is great, but I've never played it. So I just wanted to let that come in, even though I have a PS4. So I mean, really, if we're gonna talk about a AAA exclusive that's worth buying a PS4 for, it's gonna be Uncharted. And I think that may also be the biggest reason why I switched over to PS4. But I mean, if you go beyond that, what other game is there? Drive Club is not gonna be as great as Forza 5. I can give you many reasons why, but I don't have the time right now. Maybe in a separate video. Maybe when Drive Club actually comes out, and I can totally see, like, review it or whatever. But I can basically hands down tell you that it's not going to be as good as Forza 5. And so Drive Club isn't gonna be as good. Killzone isn't that great. I've played it about a few hours now, about I think around 10 hours. Didn't like it too much. Infamous will probably be a good game. I don't think it's gonna be a great game like, you know, Resogun, Uncharted, Titanfall, and stuff like that will be. And you know, there really isn't any other PS4, you know, AAA exclusives. Order 1886, not really looking forward to that. I don't think there is anything else really. I mean, Knack, I don't need to talk about Knack. It's a terrible game. I've played it, so boring and stuff like that. The reviews are pretty bad also. And if you think about Xbox One has a lot of really good AAA titles, like Forza 5, like I mentioned, Titanfall, which is a pretty obvious one if you guys have seen it. I'm really excited for Titanfall, and Halo. And Halo is self-explanatory. All three of these games, and maybe Forza 5, but I mean, Titanfall and Halo are really self-explanatory why I like them. I don't think I really need to go into detail. But Forza 5, like I said before, I have a history of racing, so I probably like it more than the average person. And with that, I mean, Titanfall, Halo, Forza 5, they're all within, like, you know, 6 months or so of releasing. And that's great because, like, you know, right when you get bored of one exclusive or whatever, you can go on to the next one. And I really like that. Not only because it's fluidity, but because Microsoft is really spreading them out. So it's not like, you know, PS4 where they're kind of cluttering exclusives like Killzone, Infamous, and stuff like that at the beginning. And the only really AAA game that's good AAA game that's coming out in, you know, the latter part of 2014 is going to be Uncharted 4, which I'm assuming is coming out this year. And I'm assuming it's called Uncharted 4. So I like how, you know, I have a good amount of exclusive and AAA games. I don't need to really mention the AAA games because, yeah, the PS4 plays them better. And, you know, there are a good amount of games that the PS4 is playing at higher resolutions and maybe even better graphics. But I still think that Xbox One is competitive with the PS4 because games like Call of Duty Ghosts, Battlefield 4, I know I mentioned Call of Duty, but just go with it, I guess. Like, these kinds of games are being favored more by Microsoft, you know, by, you know, AAA games, and they're coming out with DLC first, rather than games like, you know, Assassin's Creed and Watch Doges and Destiny, which only really, I mean, Destiny I don't care about. I think when I first saw it, I thought it would be a good game, and I was really looking forward to it. But over the past 6 months, it's been looking more and more like garbage, basically. I don't know what they've done to it. I don't know, like, what kind of direction they're going, but it looks so much worse than it did back at E3. So, Watch Doges, yeah, I mean, I guess it looks good. I'm not a huge fan of that kind of stuff, but Assassin's Creed, I'm a big fan of. And that's only one game compared to Call of Duty Ghost and Battlefield 4, which I play a lot of. So, you know, I like to see the, you know, more favorite stuff for those games instead of Assassin's Creed. So, really, I mean, I must say, you know, PlayStation has good stuff, but I think when it really comes to games, I mean, Xbox One is unbeatable right now. Or I mean, in the future also, because you know, they have games like Project Spark, which actually looks, you know, pretty good. For me, I like the ingenuity of it. I like, you know, how it's I guess a next gen Little Big Planet, and Little Big Planet wasn't my favorite game. I didn't like it too much. I mean, it was fun and imaginative. It just got kind of boring after a while. So this one, I like how you can, you know, create new worlds completely and stuff like that. So that's good. And Rise, Son of Rome, good game, good game. Don't think it's worth 60 bucks for. I think maybe if you get it used at 20 bucks and, you know, go sell it again, then that should be the best option for you. But I don't like Dead Rising 3. I don't like all these zombie games. I think they're like too. I think after Call of Duty like Black Ops 1, zombie games really started to get worse and stuff like that. I don't know what people have been doing or something like that, but I don't know. I just really don't like all this zombie everywhere. So, besides that, I don't think there's really any other Xbox One exclusive that's super worth talking about. Maybe Quantum Break, but there's a serious. I doubt I'm getting that. I mean, there's probably a less than a 1% chance that I'm getting that game. And, I mean, nothing else really, but if you think about it, what I've said before easily beats out all the PS4 exclusives, so that's a big thing to consider. And when you're buying a gaming console, you're buying it for games, and when the games are better, then, you know, that's a big turn on for you, I guess. And, yeah, I mean, PS4, I guess what I must say is that the Xbox One isn't the greatest in terms of everything, or being a great kind of console feel, which I think PS4 easily wins. I think PS4 is easily the better kind of console, like quote unquote, because it can play Blu-ray things, it can do all these things very well. It can has second screen integration, it has really good graphics, it has basically everything you would want in terms of like a good features and console. It just doesn't go extra in that. What it does really well, but the things that it doesn't do are easily, well, I guess Xbox One does what the PS4 doesn't do, and that's I guess the big thing. And the games on the Xbox, I mean, the only thing bad with the PS4 games is that they're not as great as Xbox One, really. I still think they're good games, but I mean, I really don't think they're the best. I think the Xbox One interface is more solid, despite that it's a little bit clunky here and there, but I think you can do so much more with it. And the Kinect integration is actually pretty nice. I got to try it out a little bit, so I like that a lot. But I mean, PS4 right now doesn't really have too much microphone support. You can basically just say start game or home screen or something like that, but there's really nothing else you can do with it, so that's kind of sad. Um, but basically, in terms of extra content and games, the Xbox One wins hands down. And if you're looking at, I guess, the console, like which kind of console, air quote, like quote unquote, which one has better hardware, which one can play games better, which one has a good library, which one has not a good library, but like a good digital like library. I think the PlayStation Store is a little bit better than the Xbox Live Marketplace and stuff like that. I think the PS4 will be better for you if you actually think that's better, if and you haven't gotten a PS4 or Xbox One yet and you plan to. But I think if you want something extra, if you want something more, if you want something that can do everything, maybe not the best as PS4, but still certainly well. And if you want like true games that are amazing, then I think Xbox One is for you, which it's for me too. And I really like yesterday they came out with pre-orders for the new Titanfall, or I guess by the time this video goes up it'll be 2 days ago. So Wednesday, January 15th, they came out with the kind of pre-orders for the Xbox One Titanfall wireless controller, and it's beast. It looks so good, and the packaging and everything looks amazing too. And I like how Microsoft is really supporting their exclusives, because that's the #1 thing they have going on right now. I mean, besides that, I'm not. I'm kind of at a loss of words to say besides the exclusives, because the exclusives really win the competition here. I don't know a single person who would say that the PS4 exclusives are better than the Xbox One exclusives. I just don't see that happening. I've never seen that happen before. But I mean, there's probably someone who thinks that the PS4 exclusives are better. So if you do, then go ahead, play them. That's fine with me. It's just that for me, I think the Xbox One exclusives are a little bit better. And in terms of like finishing up this commentary, I guess I want to thank you all for 50 subscribers. I think that's a huge milestone for my channel. I honestly don't think that I can get huge in terms of like millions and millions of subscribers. I just don't feel like I put in as much effort into my videos as big names like who's a big name? I guess T Martin is big, Woody's Gamer Tag, PewDiePie. Although I don't really like PewDiePie, I think he gets. I don't think he's being funny because that's his actual character. I think he's being funny because he's on camera. If you guys know what I'm talking about. So I don't. That's that. But I will say that those guys make better videos than me because they've been on YouTube longer, and because they have so much more time to put into their videos. So that's why that I'm assuming. And me, I don't have too much time. I still have to manage schoolwork, extracurricular work, and gaming and stuff like that. So it's not the easiest for me to make bunch of videos all the time and stuff like that. And speaking of that, I know I haven't been able to post up videos in 2 weeks, and I'm sorry. If really, what I blame? I blame Sony for this. If they would have not kept their HDCP, I would have been able to post so many more videos, because right now I'm struggling to get gameplays because my PC is like struggles, and my internet kind of like goes like weird when I'm playing games. It's fine every time else, but when I play games on PC, it goes kind of weird. And you know, the FPS I'm getting is not that great. I'm terrible at mouse and keyboard because I'm not used to it. I'm really used to a controller. You know, back in the day, back in like, you know, 2005-ish, I used to use a mouse and keyboard somewhat, but that was a long time ago, man. So I can't continue to play PC and be as good as console. I'm just so much better on console. So, you know, I feel restricted almost with, you know, making YouTube videos because I am in such a kind of not that great situation. You know, my microphone isn't that great. It's not like, you know, what's the blue snowball or whatever. But I do think that it's manageable. I think pretty much everything I have besides the Elgato game capture, excuse me, is, you know, about decent but not fantastic. I think the Elgato game capture is probably the best capture card in the market right now. That's why I, you know, that's why I excluded it from that list. But yeah, I must say, you know, I feel like an average commentator, and honestly, I like that because once I get, or once anyone gets really too big, then, you know, there's all these other things that they have to consider. Think about Call of Duty. When Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 came out, these were easily the best games. But as more and more people came, they had to kind of adapt to those people, and they had to kind of make their games more similar so that the people, you know, who like the earlier games would like the next games. And I don't like that strategy at all. And that's kind of how YouTube is. The people who have to adapt too much to their new kind of, you know, subscriber base, you know, they kind of lose their quality and stuff like that. So I don't want to be that kind of subscriber. I don't want to be that kind of YouTuber. But I think right now where I am fantastic. And that's been a pretty long commentary. This is my longest commentary I have. So I hope you guys really like that commentary. It, you know, it took a little bit of work. It actually took a couple of weeks to make because I tried to make this commentary for a couple of weeks now, and every time I did, I just didn't feel like it was YouTube worthy, and the gameplay is not YouTube worthy. So really, I told you I suck on mouse and keyboard, and you can tell by how bad I'm doing right here. So anyway, thank you all for watching. I am seriously really proud of us, and I want to thank you all again for 50 subscribers. Let's see where my channel goes in the future. So with that, I will hopefully see you guys next time.